everybody, it's Christopher from Triple C Management Games. So, I just got back from work. I'm still in my brown tee from work, and it was a super surprise today. I had mentioned that I was transferring, or we'll call PCS, the military, and one of the chiefs I work with actually said, hey man, I got some comic books I'm looking to get rid of, and I said, bet, let's do it, right? So he gave me a call on the phone, went down, picked them up. So this is a stack of comics right here that I picked up here. Obviously not super high grading things, but I got some 2 oversized comics as well. What I'll do is I'll bag and board these bad boys, take a look at some things, and then I'll add on this video. So stand by for what I got. So oftentimes these older comic books from the late 80s and 90s have the trading cards inside of them. So one of the books I noticed, I was going through cable, and you'll see here as I open the book up, there are these trading cards inside, right? Pretty cool. It's neat to find these. I'm going to keep them inside the book for the time being. I think it's neat to kind of have them in there. But you can take them out and have them as a nice collection. But inside here, they got Kraven, Spider-Man, and Chameleon. Right there, you take a look at those cards. Kind of neat. Thought that was pretty interesting. I'll take a look at the rest of the books and see what else is in here. So I was able to finally clean up some of these books and get them bagged and boarded. I went through a little bit of here. There's a total of 36 comic books altogether. Let's take a look. So I got Cable. So one of the Cable series here. There's a bunch of Cable books that were involved here. With Cable, there's a ton of different first appearances. This is Cable number 2. In this book here, it's the, let's see here. No specific version. Actually, hold on. Make sure I update my roster here, right? So for number 2, no standard issue. You can see the front Cable here. This is from 1993. I got a Cable number 4. Now most of these are all gonna be direct editions, but pretty cool. I forgot how cool his artwork was from that early 1990s. I thought it was pretty cool. You see here, pretty decent again. This is number 6. And this one here is actually the first appearance of Rachel Summers as Mother Ascani. So, number 7. Again, that iconic style of the 90s again. There's some Scott right there. Like Scott, Professor Xavier right there, I believe it is. All right, go to number 8. Also, again, this is Cable. This book here is The Origin of Strife, a clone of Cable, right? So in this book here. Number 9 looks like that is, man, what's his name? Omega Red, yep, Omega Red, right in the front, Omega Red. Great character, by the way. I did a book not too long ago that had Omega Red in it, so check that out a few weeks back. Again, this is number 10. Number 10 here. Awesome. Everybody on the front cover there is pretty cool. Picked up Cable 11, or when picked up, but that was what was in the on the copies that was today. Again, you see a nice. This is Colossus here in the background. Number 12. Look at that enemy. It's pretty cool. It's like a samurai on the background there. I'll do more of a detailed look on these books over the course of the next few months. So be on the lookout for some of these books, especially some of these 90s series I picked up, right? These are probably going to be for sale. I have no intention of keeping all these books that I got. I'm just going to bag and board them. I'll probably get rid of them for $1 a piece, or I'll put them in back orders, whatever, and then people can come by and pick them up if they need introduce their kids, that kind of stuff to them, right? So Cable number 13 here, wicked cover. That thing is pretty cool right there. And then Cable number 23. Most of these books are in relatively good condition. There were a couple that could have been less than ideal, but for free, I'll take it. Like I said, $1 a book, whatever. No worries here, right? I was able to pick up and in this set here was called Spider-Man: The Mutant Agenda. I've never really heard about this comic series before. Came out in 1994. It is a Marvel based comic, and this actually has the Beast involved in here. So pretty cool cover. I really thought it was pretty neat. You got Spider-Man and Beast, and then you got Hobgoblin up top here. Yeah, it's just a really interesting cover. I think obviously some cool explosion in the background, but pretty neat. No significant issues there. Then I got this one here. This is just original Spider-Man, or Volume 2 Spider-Man 1990. Like I said, this book was in really good condition, and I really like the artwork on this book here. He's caught in a tree. Pretty interesting, right? Direct edition, no barcode down here, but very interesting art style. So pretty cool for the Spider-Man collector. And then we get Spider-Man number 10. It looks like he's got some sort of like, I don't know, ghost or vampire he's battling there with Wolverine in the background. Pretty cool. And then Web of Spider-Man, additional series, number 52. And I believe Web of Spider-Man debuted in... So this book was 1989. This one actually debuted, I think, 84 to 86 time period. Interesting. You got the guy from the Daily Planet over top. Not Daily Planet. On the Daily Bugle, excuse me. All over the front. Pretty cool looking cover. Just different variations of his face. It's pretty neat. I had the one Ghost Rider book, which is awesome, going in my personal collection. I don't think I have this book for Ghost Rider number 2. This should be volume 2, I believe, of Ghost Rider. So pretty cool. Got the flames on the wheels there. And these next 2 comics are actually Marvel Comic Presents. The cool thing about Marvel Comic Present is that they have 2 style stories inside. And the front and back cover are different. So if you look the book up in a database, you might see one cover and be like, wait a second, why is this book like this here? Like this book here. See Wolverine in the front. Maybe like, wait a second, that's not the cover of this book, but actually the cover's on the back side of the book. So be mindful of that. This book here will be one side, the back side's actually upside down. So you flip it over, turn around, and it reads the book here. I chose to put this cover in front. This cover is actually really, really cool looking. I thought having that weird design of Wolverine with Nightcrawler background here is pretty awesome. If Lunch Money Comics is watching, he loves the Nightcrawlers, so I know he probably has a couple of these books in his collection. He has pretty much all the Nightcrawler cover appearances that you can think of, so he definitely really enjoys that character. So pretty awesome book there. Again, another Marvel Comics selection. That last one, 104, this is 106. This weird design again. You got, look at that weird version of Wolverine there. Quite interesting. Look at his face. You know, some of these artists kind of like, not quite great, but honestly, it wasn't too bad. And then this character version here of Nightcrawler, pretty interesting. Okay. And then another one, again, Wolverine Nightcrawler. This is a pretty awesome cover. I like this here. The blades coming up out of his claws. Pretty neat there. And then you got the arms here of Nightcrawler trying to pull him down out of the tree. That was really cool. This cover looks pretty awesome. Really thought this was the best cover to put on. This is going to be number 116. Basically, Wolverine over top. You have an enemy in the background. I believe that is Typhoid, right? Yeah. Really cool cover with the eyeball and the blades coming up on his claws. Thought it was really cool looking, awesome cover. Pretty neat there. The next series is a reprint. So one thing about I really enjoyed is the X-Men, back in the day, right? But the cool thing about those that couldn't afford the comic books back in the day, like the original ones, you could buy this series. And you were essentially getting quite a bit of books, which is pretty awesome, right? So this was debuted in 1986, and essentially, like I said, it was a partial reprint. So majority of these books kind of allowed you to afford the original books of the X-Men that you couldn't do, and that is classic X-Men, right? I thought some of these covers were amazing artwork. I said 1986, the year I was born. Woo woo, 86. Here you go. Anyways. The covers are pretty cool. It just brings back, it's always does something different. This here is the Dark Phoenix Saga. This is book number 35. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm going to see if there's any significant event in this book real quick. Let me take a look. So 35, nothing significant in this book, but I thought it was pretty cool. 37, you see Phoenix on the front cover there. Awesome looking cover. Just really shows you the power of Phoenix in this series. Again, Dark Phoenix Saga. So 38 is the next one I got here. Kind of different, like a nice marriage thing going on here. Pretty cool. Looks like it's Cyclops right in the backside, so a really neat looking book. Then you got 39. This is a nice, cool cover. It just has Wolverine. I'm a big Wolverine fan, so Wolverine in the front, just looking awesome there. His blades going out, ready to kick some butt, and he's in that fight scene really cool. Just the artwork behind the black background and how these colors just pop and the guns shooting off here, it really just speaks to you. Like, if you're a big X-Men collector, some of these books here are pretty cool, especially when they're affordable. This book was really cool. I really enjoyed the artwork in this one here. Check this out. All green cover here. Very interesting. Not something you see all the time. It looks like he's got like his saliva coming on the bottom here. Mouth wide open, getting dominated, obviously. Looks like Phoenix in the background here. But pretty cool. Again, another Phoenix saga book. And then I got book number 43. Was, again, same saga here. This book actually is really thick compared to I think it's like at least twice the size. So it's a large or one of the jumbo size comic, or the what they call them, the deluxe or giant size, my bad. And you see the interesting comic, the artwork style here. They definitely did bring back the original kind of artwork style from the 60s, from the X-Men style, but it just looks really cool. So if you're a big 60s fan, big X-Men fan, you just see the way her skirt and things are. His original suit here just has a nice, good feel to it. Another one I have here is a newer book. Let me pull this up real quick here. I didn't really look up all the books here, but I'll make sure I do some research. Those of you that are big fans of Carnage and Venom, there was a time period where the Absolute series was kind of big. I think this is going to be, this is a Symbiote of Vengeance, correct. So when you look at these here, Plenty One, this actually came from 2019. It is a one-shot book. So a lot of these Absolute Carnage books were one-shot. I have a few of them on my record. This was pretty cool. This is the Absolute Carnage tie-in. The artwork is really, really awesome on it. Just see like essentially this is Ghost Rider in the background here with Absolute Carnage in the background. You can see him here. The actual motorcycle going with the blades. This is really cool. I really like this artwork a lot. My son Eli will absolutely love this book here. We'll probably keep this for our collection because we're big Ghost Rider fans. But hey, who knows here? But it's pretty cool. Like I said, it came out in 2019. And it is a one-shot book here. There are a couple cover variants, but this is the main cover for that book. I got Captain America 404, Man of the Wolf. This book was in rough condition, definitely a reader copy, but it is a newsstand, which I thought was pretty neat. You see here at the Wolverine, the backdrop, and then you also have big old Cap right here tearing it up, okay? Thought that was pretty cool. And then I'm not a huge fan of these wartime comics, but some people really are. This is actually a really popular series. I can look at what year it came out real quick here. So if you just like having war comic books or discussing, it's pretty cool. This came out in 1986 again. It's called The Nam. These are really awesome. Just gave you a different rendition of what war was like. I think it's tailored back to the Vietnam War and up to, but each one, obviously the Nam, right? So starts Vietnam, goes all the way up there. There are 84 issues in this series, so significant amount. Goes from 86 into the early 2000s. Pretty awesome book. I haven't read too many of them, but the artwork was really nice in this book here. You can see it's pretty crisp. That green background, there just has a different feel to it, but you can see that each of the characters on there is very well detailed when it comes to the army guys, right? And the weapon stuff, right? So if you're a big fan of wartime books, the Nam is where you need to be looking at. This one here is Nam number 13. That was number 12, excuse me. Let's see anything specific about that one. Nope. And this is number 13. Very interesting artwork on the front. You have this like pink looking, looks like maybe the sun might be going down or coming up, and you see like the dusk or dawn portion here, and that light's just shining. Or maybe there's some sort of lights being shined on them as they're going through the jungle aspect here. You can see them, they land in the open air, their helicopter, and they're getting out and dismounting and gonna go for battle, right? So pretty cool book there. Now, the only DC book that was, I would say one of 3 DC books that were provided in the set. This one is Detective Comics featuring Batman 661. Thought it was pretty cool. You can see right there, this is one of those books. I might have it in my collection already. I haven't looked at it yet, but if I don't, I'm going to add it in there. I am a Detective Comics and a Batman collector as well. This book here is a non-mainstream. Back in the 80s and early 90s, there was this company called Ultraverse. They made a lot of different weird types of comics. This is happy to be one of them. Mantra. Okay, this is Mantra number 1, I believe it is. Yes. It's a 40-page special. Oh, no, Mantra number 4. 40-page special. You see there, just different style to it. It is a little more, I don't know, rough around the edges. So if you like the weird, non-mainstream comics, check out the Ultraverse comics here. Usually they're like a Rune style comic. You'll see a Rune up here as well. And they just had different characters that are not mainstream that are pretty decent. And then I got One Weapon X. The book's a little rough condition, but I decided to put it inside the in the bag anyway to make it look pretty good and preserve it. And then another book here, The Amazing Spider-Man featuring the Invincible Iron Man. Again, this book here had some water damage on the front cover, so I put it in the bag just to preserve the time being for shipping. But definitely a reader copy for sure. But it might add to the story. You can see different characters here. You got 2 different Spider-Man characters. Looks like more like the Spider-Verse. Looks like you got the Miles Morales version here and a Peter Parker version over here. And then obviously the Invincible Spider-Man. The last 2 books I got were much larger. Like I showed you earlier what they were. They're a Joker style book. So in the late 2019, 2020s, DC came out with this Black Label style book. And I actually really like some of their books. They're pretty cool. But this is actually interesting. It's a Joker and Harley Quinn rendition here. This series kind of gives you a different perspective on Harley Quinn as the psychologist, essentially, and what she does to track down Joker. Pretty cool. It's actually called Criminal Sanity. Goes to details about it. There's multiple books in this series. This happens to be one of them. And then this book here is called Joker Killer Smile. It's a 5-part book set. This is book number 3, I believe. This is actually the first appearance of the Smile in book number 1. But interesting style. It's just different. These books are a little different, much larger. You can see in size. They have that like magazine style feel to it here. I don't have any more bags available here with me in Japan, but eventually I'll take a look at these. I'll probably just get rid of these here free of charge. They're pretty cool books, but they're designed for more mature readers. Just be mindful of that. So let me know what you think. These are, like I said, they're all free. Guy at work was giving them away. He's like, want to get rid of his stuff. I said, you know something? I'll pack them up, bag them, board them, do a little show on them, and get ready to sell them when I get back to the States. Anyways, let me know what you think. What kind of comic book are you a fan of? Do you like the 90s, 80s? Do you like those reprints? Making it more affordable for us to grab those books? Or what about the multiple types of series you see as Spider-Man? I mean, there's got to be 100+ different series of Spider-Man out there that you can enjoy to read. So comic books are endless. Your imagination is what brings you into these, and it really is what sticks you and keeps you involved in the community. So anyways, hit that like button. We're up to 70 subscribers. Woo woo now. And let me know what you think. Christian out.